People who are spreading conspiracies that are unverified are unwittingly, some of them are wittingly, propping up a defense for the defense team. If this shooter is the shooter, you are doing more harm than good by coming up with a defense attorney's arguments to create reasonable doubt.
Tyler Robinson didn't kill Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's Israeli security detail killed Charlie Kirk, and Charlie Kirk's assassin is caught on tape.
If you think that Turning Point USA had anything to do with this, or you think that Turning Point USA should somehow release footage of an incident that's currently under investigation, but without accurate information, you should shut your mouth. People who are spreading conspiracies that are unverified are unwittingly, some of them are wittingly, propping up a defense for the defense team. And this is not my own thought. Another guy came up with this idea, and I thought it was brilliant that he mentioned it, and I think it's 100% true. If this shooter is the shooter, you are doing more harm than good by coming up with a defense attorney's arguments to create reasonable doubt. So therefore, you could create an environment in a situation that taints a jury pool, that also creates reasonable doubt, that if this is the actual suspect, the suspect could get off in the crime. Do you want that on your consciousness? You claim that you love Charlie and you love Turning Point USA. You claim that you support the movement, whoever that you are. And I see a ton of you guys, and I'm finna expose a few of them right now, that are saying things that are untoward and that will cause problems in the investigation. You are absolutely unequipped to speak on a subject if you think that Turning Point USA had anything to do with this, or you think that Turning Point USA should somehow release footage of an incident that's currently under investigation. This is not a game. This is not a talk show. This is not a reality show. This is not social media. These are real people doing a real investigation that have real people's lives on the line. And it bothers me to no end that people continue to push conspiracy theories. It's okay to question, but without accurate information, you should shut your mouth and let the investigation yield results that you can then critique. The Fed has finally dropped interest rates, and that's great news for American homeowners. Expenses have been major burdens on the family. Wages have been flat. Prices keep climbing. And for many, the only way that you can make ends meet is leaning on credit cards. But that cycle has high interest debt, making it hard to stay ahead. If you're a homeowner, I want you to call my friends at American Financing right now. Interest rates have dropped. Many homeowners are seeing options in the low fives compared to credit card charges rates that are in the 20s or higher. There's an easy path to see how you can fully put your hard-earned equity to work for you. American Finance can help you pay off that expensive debt, free up your cash flow, and keep your budget under control. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are saving customers on average $800 a month. And if you start today, you may even be able to delay your next mortgage payment. So take control. Call my friends at American Finances today, 866-889-8010. That's 866-889-8010 or americanfinancing.net/Tatum. I'm going to show it here in a minute, but in the hearing that was presented today on the topic, both the defense and prosecution admitted that there's tons of evidence to go through, that the defense says that they need more time to diagnose the plethora of evidence that they're going to have to evaluate to defend the defendant. They also made claims clearly that there's so much electronic communication that they need ample amount of time to go through all the electronic communication. What does that mean? That means that the little cell phone stuff that you think you saw, or that you think you know the totality of, is not the full story. They're going to extract electronic communications from his cell phone, her cell phone, or the boy's cell phone that he dating that transition. They're going to extract electronic communication from the dad's cell phone. They're going to extract electronic communication on Discord. And he said that there's more than 20 or 30 people that either communicated with or knew about the inferences of the defendant killing Charlie. Let the information come out and then critique it, because there's going to be so much information in this trial, and it's going to be presented live for the world to see. Evidence from OME, the autopsy, experts on ballistics. It's going to be so much information. You ignorant folks, if you have any integrity, wait till there's information presented and critique the information. instead of critiquing a straw man. And then what happens is you lie about everything. And then when the truth come out, you just go on to the next lie. Let's go with Stu Peters, who is the nuttiest person on planet Earth. I think I know. I thought I went on this show before. I've seen him before. He is the nuttiest person on planet Earth. I thought that others were nutty. He is the nuttiest. I thought it was a parody until I realized what this fool is saying. Just roll one clip.
Tyler Robinson didn't kill Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's Israeli security detail killed Charlie Kirk, and Charlie Kirk's assassin is caught on tape. Blake Bednar has brought us this video. We'll break it down. Take a look at this. Here it is from the wide angle. Watch Charlie Kirk's right side of his t-shirt. Watch the lavalier lapel mic. Do you see it explode? Let's bring it in just a little bit closer. Watch this. Put it in a freeze frame. That is the explosion from Charlie Kirk's lavalier lapel mic. Want to see it again? Bring it in closer. Remember when we told you that was absolutely...
This guy is stupid. I don't want to show too much of Charlie, but he think a lavalier exploded. Somehow the lavalier exploded and then went on this side of Charlie's neck and penetrated it and killed him. The lavalier explodes and goes on the other side and kills. There is no evidence on no video that nobody has ever presented or saw a entrance wound on the other side of his neck. Where are you getting that the lavalier has precision munition in it that will shoot one round through this side and out this side? If it has the velocity to shoot a round through from this angle, it's not going to come out this side. And if it's how did it come? And if it has enough velocity to blast from here, come in and out of this side, in this side, out of this side, it's going to hit somebody that's standing right next to him. His Israeli team. These people were hired by Turning Point, and many of them served in the United States military or law enforcement. I know these guys personally. What are you talking about, bruh? Now it's a lavalier mic? So you're saying the team is involved? Because Nick, help me. They travel with the lavalier mic that they use for Charlie all the time. The same one that they put on me when I go to the event. And if you have a lavalier mic with munition that's powerful enough to kill you, that lavalier mic will be so heavy you couldn't use the magnetic hold on it. It will be draping down his shirt. You stupid idiot. Finish the clip.
Absolutely an exit wound? Yeah, it is. Check the trajectory of the round that was deployed from that lavalier lapel mic. That went directly from Charlie Kirk's lapel. That went directly from underneath Charlie Kirk's white t-shirt up through his neck and created the exit wound that we told you was an exit wound immediately when we saw.
All right. I don't like to see Charlie like that. Roll it. Let's get off of that for a second. But the lavalier mic shot him but didn't explode. Because the thing is hanging right here. Okay. It gets worse. Now here's Nick Fuentes, who's another idiot, who's criticizing Erica Kirk's response to her husband's assassination. Roll the clip.
It's like, lady, didn't your husband just get his face blown off like 2 seconds ago? And not to be insensitive about it, but everyone's thinking it. No one wants to be the asshole. No one wants to say it. Everyone's thinking it. Everyone was thinking it when she gave the first speech. Everyone was definitely thinking it at the memorial. Nobody wants to say it because it's inappropriate. It's insensitive. I am the troll, right? So I'll be the one to say it. I think it's super inappropriate. I think it's inappropriate. I think it's weird. It's bizarre. Something is off there, and I don't like it. But they're doing the Super Bowl commentators with the headsets on, doing a media table. They're selling merch, registering voters. They got pyrotechnics. Is this WrestleMania or is this a funeral? Like, what are we doing here? And then, the day after the funeral, I'm getting 500 texts and emails. Erica Kirk here. I miss him. Every time I blink, every beat of my heart. Make sure to donate $5, $15, $25. It's like, okay. Then they're doing a show. Did you see the show today? And so prescient. I said it last night. I said, I'm getting like a fake vibe. Something's off there. And people say, well, everybody grieves differently. Yeah, I don't know how much mileage we can get out of that one anymore. Something's not right there. Very bizarre, weird vibe there. And did you see the show? Erica hosted the Charlie Kirk show this afternoon, and she's like, she looks like she's over the moon. She's happy as a clam. And again, who am I to judge? Everybody grieves differently. She's a very devout Christian. Some people say maybe that's just strength, that's resolve. I don't know. It's one thing if your husband dies, period. It's another thing if your husband dies at age 31, unexpectedly. It's another thing if your 31-year-old husband unexpectedly dies because he gets publicly executed with blood gushing out in front of thousands of people screaming and running away. That's like something that's altogether different.
How many seconds? Oh, thank God it's over. What an idiot. I don't know how people think this dude is a normal person that they should platform other than kicking his butt verbally on a debate. Like, do you not have any intuition or wisdom? Do you not believe in God? These fake Christians like Nick Fuentes, who trashed Charlie forever and called Charlie a fake Christian. Look at his theology of Erica Kirk. Dummy. Some people, because you're a maniac and you don't have any emotional intelligence, some people know how to put on the face that they need for their husband's legacy, to do what she got to do to continue his legacy. What kind of effing woman would just sit at home and cry all day when she was married to a soldier, a man who stood on principle, that fought every day for American values, that traveled all over the country? She's married to that guy that prays over his family, that supports his family, surrounded by patriots who have something in them that's greater than what the world is offering. And she can step up to the plate to honor her husband, and she probably cries at home all night. That's like saying, Brandon, you don't cry every time you get on a thing. I have cried multiple times over what happened to Charlie, but I know how to compose myself enough to fight the good fight. These people are stupid. Saying that Erica's speech, when she first did it, she was crying but you want to judge her on what? Show me an example of a person who lost their husband the way she lost Charlie. And what did they say in response? How was their first speech? The woman is continuing his legacy. I got the messages. I love him. I miss him. What else you want her to do? Say, let's forget about it. It makes your husband's death even worse if you're sitting around crying about it and you're not helping further the mission. Good people that believe in God understand that God has a plan and that God's plan is bigger than ours. When you Nick Fuentes, you don't believe in God. I don't know what God he believe in. You somehow think that you should be consumed by worldly events and emotionalism and not by the Spirit of God that gives you grace and gives you passion to keep going. That's like saying that the apostles, when Jesus was crucified on the cross, somehow they supposed to sit around and cry all day. That Mary was supposed to sit around and cry all day. No, they said they killed my son, Mary said. They killed our brother, and we must continue on even in the face of death. And that's what the apostles did. We got another clip from him talking about Charlie was in an arranged marriage with Erica. Roll the clip.
The thing about Erica Kirk is I 100% believe that that's an arranged marriage. Charlie and Erica, I do not believe for 1 second that they met organically. How do you think they met each other? Do you think that they bumped into each other at CPAC and Charlie said, hey, let's go on a date?
Hold on.
No, they were set up.
Hold on. This is why you know he's stupid. All you got to do is listen to Charlie over the last several years explain how he met Erica. She applied for a job at Turning Point USA. In the interview, they connected, and he said, you know what? You can't work for me because you're going to be my woman. That's normal behavior. A young man like Charlie Kirk is probably open to having a wife, beautiful, smart, intelligent, articulate, woman got something going for herself. Her resume is probably insane. A man look at her and say, wait a minute, you gonna be you gonna work and be a influencer or whatever? No, you wifey material. He sees so many women, and there's not many women that can lead or be in a position to be a part of his life to take him to the next level. I met my wife similarly to that. My wife was, she was on social media or whatever, and I knew she lived in California. I invited her to an event, the Nestor Susie event. I was talking to another woman. I mean, we were trying to date another woman. I just liked Corinne because she was very sweet and she was nice, and I liked she was a patriot. And so I invited her to the event, didn't think nothing of it. The girl that I liked, she had to go somewhere else. She couldn't go to dinner with the rest of everybody else, but Corinne went. And me and Corinne talked. She embarrassed me. Well, not embarrassed me. She blasted me because my social media sucked. She said, Brandon, let me help you with this social media. I didn't want nothing to do with Corinne. She was good looking, but she lived in California, and I ain't never living in California. I never moved from Arizona. That's what my mind was. And I don't have time to be dealing with women, really. And I thought she was bougie too, because she had Louis Vuitton, and now I know she thrift all that stuff, and she's smart about her money. But then over time, bruh, she started helping me with my social media. Then she started being to help me with my speaking engagements, kind of like a manager. And then after a while, I say, well, wait a minute. This woman is beautiful. She's conservative. She's smart. She a grown woman. She got her stuff together. She can add so much value to my life. What am I? This is wifey material. This the kind of woman I want to marry. And I married her. But when you a little incel, wanking off at night to I don't know, anime, bunny ears. Y'all see the guy he was with doing bunny ears, probably on the back of him at night. When you doing stuff like that, you don't understand the value of what women bring to the table. This dude is in his age and he don't got no girlfriend or nothing. We know what that is, bro. You're gay probably. It ain't nothing wrong being gay. That's what you want to do, but don't be in the closet about it. You running around talking all this Christian stuff, and you the dumbest person on earth with no wisdom. Charlie arranged marriage. Where your evidence that this is arranged? Everybody that got married that I know in Turning Point, a lot of them young people met they people at a Turning Point event. They work with them. They ran into them. What are y'all talking? This is what happens when you're in the movement. You run into somebody that's your wife. But when you're a weirdo sitting in your parents' house making little videos of like being a racist, no woman wants you anyway. What woman gonna want Nick Fuentes? You ain't got nothing to offer. You too stupid not to build a platform or something for yourself. You go on these podcasts, you're a little grower, you make your little YouTube stuff, but you're not desirable for a woman to be with. You have nothing to offer. Anyway, I will go on, but I need to move on to my next topic. But the court proceeding happened, and we'll play it in post-production so you guys can see it.
Counsel, as we begin, I have entered orders allowing the admittance of Mr. Michael Burt, Mr. Richard Novak, pro hoc vice, and appointing them along with Ms. Catherine Nestor to be Mr. Robinson's counsel. The court enters findings that the combined experience of counsel meets and exceeds the requirements of Rule 8. Counsel, do we have, what would we like to accomplish today?
I have two items, Judge. I just wanted to make a record that under Rule 16 of the Utah Rules of Criminal Procedure with respect to discovery, the state is required to provide to the defense within 5 days of the defense's request the discovery that we relied on in making this charging decision. We'll be prepared to do that, so we'll look for defense counsel's request or the next day or so, and we'll provide that to the defense.
Thank you.
We also, for the court's information, we met this morning with the defense team briefly in our office to talk about discovery and the process, so we'll be working together. There is a substantial amount of discovery in this case, Your Honor. It's voluminous, to say the least, and we're working on a process where we can exchange information as quickly as possible and be efficient in that process. The other item I had, Your Honor, I saw that over the weekend there was a protection order, pretrial and trial publicity order entered by Your Honor. And I just was seeking some clarification. On page 2, at the end of the first paragraph, it reads, "To that end, lawyers participating in the investigation or litigation of this case shall inform all witnesses, investigators, consultants, staff members, or other members of the prosecution or defense teams that the prohibitions contained in this order." The state, we're seeking some clarification with respect to the phrase "all witnesses," Your Honor. There are a number of witnesses that have yet to be identified that will likely be used in the state's case. This occurred in front of 2,000 to 3,000 students at Utah Valley University. So we're in the process of identifying those witnesses. And so those individuals are presently unknown right now. So we're looking for a little clarification from the court. And I suppose we're not going to make any arguments today, but there may be some follow-up pleadings that we may need to file.
Ms. Nestor, did you want to be heard about that issue?
No, Your Honor, we would defer to whatever the court wants to advise them on that matter. I mean, I think it's fairly obvious that we don't know who all the witnesses are in this case yet. I think it's just important that if anyone is identified, that they have information about this order. So I think other than that, we wouldn't weigh in on any other matter.
Thank you. They are inherently due because they are human beings. Let me be clear. I will not put my finger on the scale of justice. These proceedings will be open to the public, conducted in accordance with the law, and handled with diligence and competence to ensure that justice is never compromised. It is the standing order of this court that Mr. Robinson shall be allowed to appear in person so he can fully engage with his attorneys and participate in these legal proceedings. Counsel, regardless of who is watching, whether it is the nation or a single individual, we must fulfill our roles with integrity, civility, and diligence. I encourage each of you to give your very best to this case. Neither Mr. Robinson nor the people of Utah deserve anything less than the fair and impartial administration of justice. In regards to the next hearing, counsel
is right now being held at the Utah County Jail. He was scheduled to appear in person today, but then Friday we were notified that Robinson will not be present in person for today's hearing. We're told possibly because it's a short hearing and it doesn't make sense to transfer Robinson today. Now, in the hearing, Robinson and his newly appointed attorney will make a decision whether they want a preliminary hearing where the judge will decide if there's enough evidence to take this case to trial, while prosecutors have already released a significant amount of evidence, including what they say is Robinson's DNA on the trigger of a rifle believed to be the murder weapon and text messages after the shooting in which Robinson allegedly confessed to his lover. Now, Robinson faces the death penalty here in Idaho, charged with a long list of crimes, and a longtime criminal defense attorney here in Utah tells us Robinson's attorneys are likely already strategizing to keep him alive.
In a death penalty case, there's two parts. There's guilt and there's punishment. And we haven't dealt with the guilt part first. So the defense is going to focus on that first. But all the while, they're going to be thinking about the penalty phase. All the while, they're going to be looking at mitigation and ways to potentially save his life.
So, Harris, we will be live inside and outside of the courthouse today, and we'll keep you updated.
But the court proceeding happened where it was like initial counsel for the defendant. They introduced the counsel, and they obviously convened to create another hearing. I don't know what the hearing is called, but a hearing so they can begin to articulate their position because he just secured counsel.